Afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us as we discuss health insurance requirements for J visa holders. As many of you know, depending on the type of visa you obtain to enter the United States with, you have different requirements that you need to meet. In the case for J-1 visa holders as well as their dependents, you have to meet certain requirements for health insurance in order to obtain your visa. We're here today with our key account manager, Sutherland Beever, as she provides a breakdown of what those insurance requirements are and the best plans available to suit your needs. Sutherland, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. We'd love to hear a little bit more about your role at ISI and what a J visa is.
Hey, Sally, thank you for having me. So, I help cultural exchange agencies, colleges, and universities manage the health insurance plans that they use to ensure each of their students or participants, many of whom are on J visas. Now, the J visa itself is a non immigrant visa that is issued to short term visitors who are taking place in exchange programs or student programs as well. But what this really means is that I help organizations ensure that everyone who should have insurance does, and for the right period of time. And I'm also the go to person for any questions or concerns that may arise regarding the health insurance plan. So, my role in ISI here is really to be a problem solver for my clients. Whatever they need help with, I'm here to handle.
Awesome, thank you. And with the cultural exchange agencies that you're working with, many of those participants are coming on J visas. It sounds like J visa holders also come with their family members who then obtain J2 visas. What do those insurance requirements look like?
Sure. So you're exactly right. So several of the schools and cultural exchange organizations that I work with, they allow dependents on the insurance plan as well, or they have a separate plan solely for those dependents who are often on J2 visas. Thankfully, the J1 and the J2 visa requirements are identical. So the plan itself, it has to cover at least $100,000 per injury or illness. On top of that, they're required to buy a plan that covers repatriation of remains up to the amount of $25,000 and medical evacuation in the amount of $50,000. Now, on top of that, the plan can't have a deductible above $500 per accident or illness, and it has to be underwritten by an insurance carrier with a good rating. So, for example, an AM Best rating of A minus or above. I know that sounds like I just listed off a lot of requirements there, but those requirements, they're not as hard to meet as you may think. And all of the plans that our company offers will meet and exceed those requirements.
Awesome. Yeah. And would you say that those health insurance requirements for the J visa is adequate coverage for individuals and their families that are entering the United States?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Simply because it's impossible to predict what may happen in the future,
Mhm.
right? That being said, these requirements are what the US Department of State does deem as suitable coverage.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but many of J visa holders might be getting health insurance through their sponsored organizations that you're working with. If their sponsor isn't providing insurance, where should J visa holders be looking?
Sure, you're correct that many of the sponsors do have their own insurance plan, or they may require a particular plan. But for those organizations that don't have their own plans, participants can easily find affordable health insurance plans online. For example, all of the plans on internationalstudentinsurance.com will meet or exceed those visa requirements.
Okay, and since J visa holders need to have health insurance in place and the correct amounts of coverage in order to obtain their visa, when should they be looking to purchase their insurance coverage?
Sure. So it's important to keep in mind that because you have to have an appropriate plan in order to actually get your visa,
Mhm.
naturally you need to buy insurance before your visa appointment. This is something you actually have to show during the visa interview itself. Now, the policies on internationalstudentinsurance.com, they allow you to purchase the plan the same day you want your insurance to begin, and you can receive your documents immediately. But of course, that doesn't mean that you should wait. It's going to be a lot less stressful if you have all of your necessary documentation well before your visa interview.
Okay, great. Well, this is all wonderful advice, and it's certainly important to be sure that your insurance coverage is in place in order to avoid any complications. Like you said, when going to the consulate and actually obtaining your visa, you certainly don't want to have to go back and make another appointment. Thank you so much for all of the advice that you've given us today, Sutherland. We really appreciate your expertise and all of the information.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And as Sutherland mentioned, if you have any questions about obtaining health insurance on a J-1 or a J-2 visa, you can always contact our customer service team or send us an email, give us a call. We're happy to assist in making sure that you have the right insurance plan in place for you as well as your family. We'll see you all next time, everyone.